keep it 100 because it's time for Hub's Huddle Podcast. Listen to the man that talks sports from football to basketball 24/7, 365. He is known as the average Joe that knows more than average about sports.
What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Hub.
Good morning, everybody. Man, it is time for our Week 12 picks. Today is Sunday, 11/25/2018. We're going to go over the remaining games of Week 12 picks for today, and also the Monday night matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. First and foremost, man, if any of you guys seen that game last night between Texas A&M and LSU, that was one of the most, that was probably like an instant classic for college football. That game went to 7 overtimes. Final score was 74-72. Yes, we're talking about a football game here, not basketball. The final score of that game was 74-72. Very entertaining. 7 overtime in total. Like these guys played a few football games all rolled up in one. But moving on, man, let's get into this NFL stuff for today, man. First up, man, let's go over, Thursday. I started off, my week at 159-2. I was 8-5 last week, and I started off on a good foot on Thursday, man. I swept the whole Thanksgiving Day feast games. I went 3-0 with the Bears beating the Lions 23-16. This was their first win in Detroit since 2012, man. That's very crazy. I didn't even know that until I was looking up some stats and stuff. Also, you got the Cowboys. They beat the Redskins to take over the NFC East for right now. I'm saying right now because everybody's record is almost similar, and that division is still wide open. Amari Cooper, man, in that one, man, had 180 yards reception, most by Cowboys since 2012. Of course, Ezekiel Elliott had his touches, and he also got the job done as well, which I said, every time I say, Zeke need at least 25 to 30 touches, the Cowboys, man, they end up winning. And also in the night game, we had the Atlanta Falcons losing to the New Orleans Saints at a score of 31-17. The Saints, man, they keep rolling, man. They're on a 10-game win streak, leading up to that big matchup next week against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night football, which is going to be very entertaining. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let's get into today's games, man. First up, we got the 49ers traveling to Tampa to take on the Bucks. Man, this game right here, man, the Bucks QBs, man, both of these guys, Jameis Winston and also Ryan Fitzpatrick, they have both thrown at least like two interceptions in 6 straight games, man. Tampa Bay defense is bad. I know they got the home crowd today, man, but I like the 49ers today, man. I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. I'm going to take them 24-17 in Tampa over the Bucks. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Of course, the Bengals are going to be without A.J. Green. And, the Browns, man, they haven't won a road game in 25 games, man. 25 road games. They have not won a single road game. They're looking to get their first road win today, man. But I don't think it's happening. You got Marvin Lewis is calling the defense now for the second week in a row. I think this Cincinnati defense and also this offense is going to start rolling. I'm giving them a 10-point game here. I'm giving them 30-20 over the Browns. Next up, got the Jacksonville Jaguars, wow, against the Buffalo Bills, man. Oh, man, this is going to be terrible. I just think it's going to be the lowest scoring game of the week here. I'm going to give it to the Jags, man, 17-14. It's just that the Jags are just a better team on paper, man. The Bills are terrible. The Jags are also terrible, too, man. They just fell apart. And like I said before, man, ever since they beat New England, man, it seemed like their whole, like they blew everything in one game. Last week, man, they blew a 16-point game to the Steelers at home. Come on now. Like that's just terrible, man. You see the body language of Jalen Ramsey, he's not happy. Also, to today's matchup, the key thing here is going to be Doug Marrone here. He's returning to Buffalo since 2014. But also what's more important is that the Jags are rolling in on a 6-game losing streak. I think they snap it today. That's why I said I'm taking the Jags very close in this one, 17-14. Next up, we got the Oakland Raiders traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens here. Of course, Lamar Jackson is going to get his second career start. I don't think this Raiders defense is going to be able to contain my man over there, Lamar Jackson. They're ranked 31st in defense. But the Ravens got a pretty good defense. I think, man, the Ravens just going to roll over them, man. I think it's going to be 28-13 Ravens. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. This one, man, we got both teams, man. They're still vying for, a wild card spot. This is going to be very tight in the NFC race anyway. But last week, man, the Panthers, man, I don't know what was going on, man. They played Detroit. They blew it pretty much. They had a chance to tie it up and possibly go into overtime, but they decided to go for a 2-point conversion and didn't convert. Man, too many risks, man. But Seattle, man, they seem to be playing very solid football right now, and they're really trying to secure that wild card slot here. Their last meeting between these two teams was back in 2016, it's about 2 years ago. The Seahawks took that one 40-7. I know they played in Seattle the last time, but this time they're in Carolina. I'm still liking the Seahawks today, man. I'm liking them 27-20 over the Panthers, man. Like I said, man, you never know what Cam Newton you're going to get. You're either going to get MVP Cam, Superman Cam, or you're going to get, I don't know what the heck is going on, Cam Newton. So I think today Russell Wilson shows up and shows out, 27-20, Seattle Seahawks. Next up, we got the New England Patriots traveling to MetLife today. They'll be taking on the New York Jets. It's the AFC East divisional matchup. No Sam Darnold today. Doesn't really mean anything. I like Josh McCown anyway better. Both teams is coming off the bye week here. The Patriots here are looking to rebound from the Week 10 beatdown by the Tennessee Titans. They also look to keep pace, man, with the Steelers and Kansas City for a top seed. Kansas City loss on Monday was very important for New England, as they know they got the tiebreaker if they do end up, at the end of the year with the same record. Tom Brady is 23-5 career after the bye week, including the playoffs. I think, New England here, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game. But on paper, the Patriots should actually roll the Jets here. I'm looking at it a 38-17 game for the Patriots. I think, Tom Brady's going to get guys like Josh Gordon in the mix. Of course, Rob Gronkowski's back. Also, there's a lot of reports about Tom Brady being limited with the knee and also with the illness. But he did travel with the team, so he will be playing on Sunday. It wasn't no doubt that he wouldn't be, knowing the type of competitor that man is. But, I like the Patriots in this one, 38-17. Next up, we got another NFC East divisional matchup, New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And this one right here, man, it's a must-win for Philly, man. They have to win this game to try to, they're still in it, to win their division. If they can pull together a couple of wins here. I know they're pretty much banged up at corner, but the biggest question here is the offense. They only scored 7 points last week against the Saints, and they got to get it together on the offense, man. No disrespect in New Orleans, but they should have scored more than just 7 points last week against that New Orleans defense. The Giants are coming in, though. They're coming in on a two-game win streak. It's going to be very key to see, how Odell Beckham Jr. matches up against, these Eagles corners. They're playing with a bunch of backups. Don't really know who these guys are, but, they're playing backups here. It's going to be very key to see how OBJ does against them. If Eli can escape the pressure and be able to get him the ball. Also, they're going to rely heavily on Saquon Barkley. Remember, the last time these two guys played on a Thursday Night Football matchup, Saquon pretty much had his way with that Eagles defense. I think it's going to be a close game today, man. I'm thinking more of a three-point game. I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles in this one, 20-17. I know they're on a They haven't been winning really at home, but I think today they turn it around just to try to salvage what's left of their season here. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals, man. They'll be traveling to L.A. to take on the Chargers here. Phillip Rivers, man, that dude, man, he's balling, man. Only quarterback with 2+ touchdowns in each game this year. But on the flip side, man, the Cardinals, man, their offense has been putting together. They've really been using David Johnson a lot. The past 2 weeks, this guy had 54 touches for 337 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. They also got Chandler Jones, man. If he can put pressure on Phillip Rivers, you could force him into making, some tough throws. But overall, man, I think, the Chargers, they got it going. They got to bounce back from the loss last week to Denver. I think the Chargers come up big here. I think they come up 35-23 over the Cardinals. Next up, you got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Indy to take on the Colts here. Ryan Tannehill's returning for the Dolphins. I mean, let's see what kind of rest this guy has. Is it going to be really good to go? The Colts on the other side, man, they're going pretty well, man. They got four straight wins for the first time since 2014. Frank Wright. This dude, he has Andrew Luck playing at a very high level. This Indianapolis Colts offense is looking pretty well. They're coming off a big win last week over the Titans. I look for them to win again here today. I like them 34-20 over the Dolphins. Next up, got the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be traveling to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos here. The Steelers, man, they're undefeated on the road this year. Denver defense have been pretty good, against the run over the past few weeks. I like that. I want to see how James Conner fare against this Denver defense. And also, it's going to be up to Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, man, to make Ben Roethlisberger feel uncomfortable. If they can get the Ben Roethlisberger, make him uncomfortable, throw a couple of those picks, I wouldn't be shocked to see, Denver win. Like I said, the Broncos winning today is basically on the strength of their defense, and they have to get the job done. But, just on paper, the weapons that Ben has, I got to roll with the Steelers in a tough game here. I like the Steelers 26-20 over the Broncos in Mile House up there in Denver. Next up, we got our Sunday night football matchup, which is going to be a very entertaining game, man. You got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Minnesota. Green Bay's been really struggling on the road here, and also Aaron Rodgers against Mike Zimmer's defenses, man. This dude, he is 4-5-1. I think Minnesota's offense here is going to be a little bit too much for Green Bay's defense. I think it's going to be a close game because Aaron Rodgers is going to put up points as well. So it's going to be a good offensive game tonight. I think, Minnesota's defense is going to come up, big in a few key areas tonight. So I'm picking the Vikings in this one. I'm picking them 30-24. Plus, both of these teams are trying to, stay at pace and try to, snag one of these wild card spots as well. But I like Minnesota tonight, 30-24. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans will be taking on the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. The Texans here are seeking the first franchise record of 8 consecutive wins. Titans, man, like I said last week, I picked the Colts over the Titans because I said, teams that come off a very emotional win over New England, they seem to go ahead and drop, like the following week, they seem to fall flat. But in this one, man, I just think the Houston Texans are a very, very better team than the Tennessee Titans. Like I said, the Titans, man, they're very inconsistent on offense. The defense is good, but their offense is very inconsistent. And I think, going up against guys like J.J. Watt and David Clowney, this is going to be a very tough task, for Marcus Mariota and company. I like the Houston Texans in this one. I like them 27-17 over the Tennessee Titans. So that does it for me today, guys. Those are my picks, and I will go over them for you one more time so I can let you guys know who I picked. And I got, I've been getting a little bit of messages, man. You guys been saying you've been using my picks for your betting. So I hope I do you well today. So let me go over these things, man. I had the 49ers, I got the Bengals, I got the Jaguars, I got the Ravens, I got the Seahawks, I have the Patriots, the Eagles, I got Chargers, Colts, Steelers, Vikings, and Texans. Those are my Week 12 picks, ladies and gentlemen. I hope, let's say we can do better than last week, man. I went 8-5 last week, man. Let's try to cut them losses down. I'm already starting off my week at 3-0 thanks to the Thursday game. So let's see how I fell, man. How I fare. You know what? Thank you guys for joining. This is it for me for my week 12 picks, Hubs Huddle. Please like this, subscribe, send me a review on different platforms. Many of them, iTunes, Radio Public, Google. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio. There's just a whole bunch of platforms I'm out there. You can just Google Hubs Huddle Podcast, and you'll see a whole bunch of sites that'll pop up that I'm on. Thank you to all my listeners. Shout out to all my new listeners, and continue to keep sharing this, liking it. Tell your friends, tell your family, to even tell people who ain't your friends, man. Just put me out there. I thank all of you for all your support, man. This is your boy Hub, and I'm signing out. Peace.